Hello, this is Lucas Palmeira from Imaginando, and I'm here to give you another tutorial on DRC. Today I'm going to show you how to make some sounds from the song Soul Control by Jessie Ware. This is a great song from her recently released album called What's Your Pleasure. It's very disco-like 70s, 80s record, but brought down to the 21st century. And I decided this was a great track to show some of the sounds of it. So let's get right into it and start with this Arpeggio Sound. Okay, which I'm gonna turn off for now. This ambience and the arpeggio. And I'm gonna start by bringing back the default patch. Okay. And first thing I'm going to do is change the pre-gain to 876. Oscillator 1 at maximum. Raise 2 octaves. And now on the cutoff filter we drop it to 840, like this. The release we raise it to 180. Okay, and now we take this on the first envelope generator, sustain and attack at 0. We drop the decay to 206, like this. And the release, we put it at 164. And now on the second envelope generator, the one that controls the cutoff, we have attack and decay at 0 again, and decay at 230, and the release at 100. So we have our first sound made. Turning on the ambience, the reverb, and the arpeggiator. Okay, we have the first sound. Now let's go to the strings pad, and it sounds like this. Okay, they're very hollowed out here with this equalizer, as you can see on the middles, on the mid frequencies. If I take it out, so let's get right into it and bring back default patch. And first thing I'm going to do is raise 1 octave. Change the sound from a sawtooth to a square wave. Pulse width should be at middle, but let's raise the pulse width modulation also to 500. And let's go to the second oscillator. First, I'm going to raise the second oscillator to maximum as well. And I'm going to change this LFO, which is modulating the pulse width modulation. I'm going to drop it to 276, and then change its waveform to 176, and change its waveform from a sine wave to a filtered sample and hold. Okay, and now we go to the second oscillator and detune it by 88. Okay. Now we go to the modulation page and we turn off oscillator 2 and we raise the modulation of the first oscillator to 168. Like this. You can hear the saturation of the pre-gain, but now we're going to drop the master to 438. And the pre-gain to 529. And as you can see, we lost the saturation. You can always control the saturation on the DRC with the pre-gain. Remember that. So it's useful if you want to saturate or even distort some sounds. Now what I'm going to do is raise the go to the sub-oscillator, raise 1 octave, and raise it to 535. And the ring modulator as well to 304. Like this. Now we go to the filter and change the filter from a low pass 4-pole to a low pass 2-pole. And drop the cutoff to 848. Raise the resonance to 222. Now go to the modulation to the keyboard page and drop the modulation page to 460, minus 460. Okay, and now let's go to the first envelope generator and raise the attack to 0.72. Like this. Decay at 500, sustain at 800, release at 300. Now on the second envelope generator, attack at 0, decay 230, sustain 400, release 100. So finally what we have to do is go to reverb, raise the amount to 328. And now raise the decay to 815. Okay. Now the only thing we have to do is turn on this equalizer. Okay, and we have our pad. Now let's go to this high lead arpeggio sound. Well, actually an arpeggio is more like a lead used here, which has a delay modulator turned on and 2 equalizers. Okay, so now I'm gonna bring it back to the default patch. This is a really simple sound to do. The only thing you have to do is drop the envelope generator to amount to 301, cut off to maximum resonance to 196. And now, on the first envelope generator, 0, sustain 0, decay at 310, and release at 194. And on the second envelope generator, release at maximum, sustain at maximum, attack at 0, decay at 230. And we have our sound. Just turn on the equalizers, delay modulator. Okay, and now let's go to our final sound, our bass. Gonna turn off the equalizer, delay modulator, and this glue compressor. This glue compressor is basically enhancing the transients of the sound, so I have a slow attack of 30 milliseconds and a really fast release and a high ratio. This will bring out, it won't compress the transients of the sound and only start compressing after 30 milliseconds, which will bring out the transients of the sound. So let's bring it back to a default patch. And first thing I'm going to do is drop 1 octave on the second oscillator and raise the second oscillator to 821. And now detune the second oscillator to 236. Okay, and now pre-gain, let's raise it to 864, so we get a nice small saturation going on. Now we go to the VCA and raise velocity to maximum. This will increase the sensitivity to volume of the velocity. Now let's go to the filter, and on the filter, the envelope generator amount of the first envelope, of the second envelope generator. Let's drop it to 380. And now the resonance we raise to 150. Change the filter from a low pass 4-pole to a low pass 2-pole. And now drop the cutoff filter to 122. Now, on the first envelope generator, decay at 383, sustain at 164, release at 194, now the second envelope generator, the one that's modulating the cutoff, decay at 267, sustain at 176, release at 194. Finally, we give it just a tiny little bit of reverb, 0.66, and decay at 474. Now we turn on our equalizer, our delay modulator, and our glue compressor. And we have our sounds. So let's now listen what I've recorded before. So bear with me just a tiny second. Okay, we're ready to go. Let's now listen. And this was it, guys. I really hope you have enjoyed this tutorial. If you liked it, please give us a like and subscribe to our channel, since we have new content coming up every week. Right now we have 2 series going on, the DRC tutorials and our frames tutorials, but we will have some surprises coming up more later this year probably, but please check us out. Goodbye.